time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millers Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedule, what's biting, and seasonal hunting information with outdoor reporters Joe Allen Dunn, Kevin Sims, and Shane Jones. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millers Ferry hunting and fishing report.
All right, Big Daddy, here we go.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Shane Jones crappie fishing.
Got it.
First one, 2023, smackdown.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast 215 Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the weekend of April the 28th through April the 30th, 2023, last weekend in April. I just got through talking with David Hawley with the Wild Turkey Report and Garrett Gaston, expert turkey hunter. We got a little late season turkey report from those guys, and they know what they're talking about. Got my outdoor reporters, Kevin Sims, Joe Allen Dunn, and Shane Jones in the house. Shane, who we got on Crappie Cast tomorrow night, 7 o'clock night?
Keith Cole will be on there with us, John and Jessica and I. Keith Cole's going to be talking about he's running the Alabama Crappie Masters here, and he's got the Alabama Crappie Trail next year, and he's going to talk a little bit about that and talk about what towns he's going to be in and commitments he's already got for next year.
And he's got a lot of big plans for 2024, I think.
He does, man. It's great for the state of Alabama and crappie fishing, kind of try to, the National Crappie League came down to, Elmore County this year. So he's trying to kind of keep us in the spotlight a little bit in the crappie fishing. So,
well, we got a few events I want to mention before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show. We are all, I don't know if Kevin, you going to be at CT Ward Saturday?
No, Brody's got a rodeo in Senatoba, Mississippi. Last school rodeo this weekend.
Well, Joe Allen and Shane and I will all be at CT Ward Power Sports from 10 till 2. That will be Saturday at their open house. They're going to be cooking, giving away stuff, specials. They got the Joby Davis with XL Boats will be there. Russ Snap with the four-wheeler guy, he'll be there. The Hustler Zero Turn Mower guy will be there. And Shane, you're going to be there, and you're going to be updating live scope. You got a live scope and want to get your software updated, you're going to do it, Shane, for any, you'll have the software for any of them, right?
Yes, sir, for the GPS and the Echo Maps. A lot of people scared to touch their settings and don't want to mess it up. And I know there's YouTube videos and everything where you can do it, but I'll do it and explain a little bit what's going on. And hey, bring me questions, and that's what I do a lot. After work is just answer a bunch of people's questions. So hey, y'all show up and have a hamburger, hot dog, and let's talk about some crappie fishing.
And you will set that system up. Now you're gonna charge $25.
$25. Hey, $25. I've got the update card right here. I've got, like I said, for the Echo maps and the GPS maps for your manual and your touchscreen. We're going to update them and put the settings that I use every day. Big Daddy's got them in his live scope also. And for $25, I'm going to get you. You're going to have the same settings that I use. So
yeah, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. I think you made a believer out of Joe. It ain't no telling what you cost Joe Allen this weekend.
That's right. Hey, we had a great time.
I want to tell everybody that lives down in Clark, Washington, Marengo, Monroe, Wilcox County, this Saturday, April the 29th, the show and auction for the 4-H guys down there, they call it the Pig Squeal. It will be in Fulton, Alabama. That's where you can go be in on one of those hogs that these kids have raised. And it will be a processor on hand. So you buy the hog and turn it over to the processor, and you get it back ham, bacon, and pork chop. So we need to go in there and bid a lot of money for those kids, and they really work hard raising those pigs, and we want to make them a lot of money. So that's this Saturday in Fulton, Alabama. And I see old Paul Cougier's on here, and I'm gonna mention this, Paul. We got May the 6th, which is next weekend, over at the Greensboro at the cattle ranch. They're going to have their 6th annual blood trailing seminar, and it is a $35 prepay admission through May the 1st, $40 admission on site. But let me tell you, if you have any interest in becoming a blood trailer, and your brother's one, isn't he, Shane?
Yes, but my brother Patrick Jones will be there with Tiger and Cajun. That Catahoula he's got. He's going to be down there.
That is a huge sport. This wounded game recovery blood trailing deal has done got to be unbelievable, because I say it all the time. I believe Alabama has the worst shots in the world, because you can look on Saturday mornings and everybody's hollering for a blood tracker. They want to know, can you come here? Can you come there? And they have got a network of those guys, including your brother Shane, and they will all be there next weekend at the cattle ranch in Greensboro. So if you have any interest in becoming, or if you have a blood trailing dog, that's an event everybody needs to be at. Scott Mitchell's tuned in, Lance Cabinets, Rusty Godbold, Mr. Freddie over in Meridian. He said, Freddie says Mr. Dunn looks very serious. We're going to see how serious he is. John M. Clark, how you doing up at Neely Henry Lake? Michael Hilliard, boy, he caught some Alabama River catfish this week. Doug Pughes tuned in. Ryan Gum with Team Fishmaster. Todd Prater, how you doing? Al and Brooke Smith up at Lot 5. Big Bama Bryant. Let me show y'all. I don't know if y'all noticed those pictures of Big Bama Bryant, but he's slimming down, Kevin. This is what he's eating right there. That is lemon pepper catfish belly.
I seen that.
He's grilling now instead of frying, and he done lost a bunch of weight. I didn't even recognize him in them pictures the other day.
He caught again then.
Yeah, oh yeah, he caught heavy. He sure is.
I need another recipe, because I need to lose some weight too.
Well, if you keep up with Shane Jones, you will lose some weight.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul says he trained Tiger for Pat. Shane?
Yeah, that's right. He yeah, I guess there was several people that trained Tiger. One of them was from Louisiana. I don't know.
That's Paul. That's okay. Paul Fouget. He's from
Louisiana. Him, man. That's exactly right. I remember the video. Yeah. I knew it went to Louisiana for a few weeks. So that was him. Okay, that's him. Oh, good fella. I know my brother speaks highly of him. So
Joey Kirby said the wind gonna blow Big Bama Brown away.
One of the big catfish gonna pull him in.
Hey, Todd, I tell you, it ain't but one way to lose weight. I can tell you, it's quit eating and exercise, and you'll
That's
lose weight.
exactly right.
That ain't no.
Ain't no way I'm gonna lose weight then.
That ain't rocket science right there. All right, we got those out of the way, and really, once again, the pig squeal. If you guys in that area, be sure and go by there and bid on them hogs. Now, everybody, we just got through talking about CT Ward Power Sports, and the four-way stop is closed. So you're going to have to come, if you're coming from Monroeville, Greenville, Selma, that way, you're going to have to come down and hit Highway 41 and come right through Camden all the way to 221. Then you can cut through County Road 14 where I live if you want to, if you know how, and get there, or you can go all the way down to the end of 221, hit 28, and come up to CT Ward Power Sports. But the four-way stop is closed, and it has created one hell of a mess, I tell you.
Yeah, I was going to tell everybody, Big Daddy, that if you put CT Ward Power Sports address in there, it knows that that's closed. So it'll get you to it. It'll get you to the boat dealership.
Okay, good.
It knows when you type in their address, it'll. I seen it this weekend when you and I were talking. It knows it's got a detour, so it will get you there.
Yeah. And so heads up if you're coming down. And I'm gonna tell you, y'all need to come now because Shane's gonna be there from 10 to 2, and he is going. I'm telling you now, if you want your live scope dialed in, he dialed my live scope in. And if you don't have a perspective mount, I would urge you to get one. I don't know if Taylor's got any there. He should have some there. But I'm telling you, Shane, you look at Shane's setup, and I promise you, when you leave there, that'll be the best $25 you ever spent when Shane Jones gets through with your live scope. And that'll be this Saturday from 10 to 2. I want to spend another event, though, before we get to this. Another event I want to tell everybody is next weekend, too, May the 6th. And it's at Soggy Bottom Lodge over there in Linden, Alabama. And it's a kids outdoors fun day that they have every year. Miss Carol brings all those special needs kids to the ranch, and it's a fundraiser for her. She does amazing work with those terminally ill kids and those handicapped kids. And let me tell you, the staff at Soggy Bottom Lodge does an amazing job. When their parents get there with those kids, they tell the parents just to sit down and let them have the kids. They take them canoeing, fishing, shooting, whatever they want to do, they make it happen. And it is a fundraiser and a lot to eat, be a lot of celebrities there. I don't know, some of the Alabama football players are usually there, be several TV shows there. That's next Saturday, Soggy Bottom Lodge. We'll talk a lot more about it on the live show Friday, but make your plans to attend if you can. Now, Shane, I want you to take a minute to talk about your incident that you had last Friday on the way down here, because I think we all need to mention Corey Dudley and what a fine guy.
Oh yeah, people. There's so much bad stuff in the news nowadays. So Friday evening, I was actually going to check some stuff in Demopolis late that evening, and I had a guide trip Saturday, and I was going down 5. I talked to Big Daddy. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to Demopolis and then come on down to Camden. So I'm going to cut down 25 out of Centerville there, right below Centerville, and go. So I'm booking down through Okmulgee, and I'm running pretty good. I'm running 70 mile. I'm running, and I hear something rattling. I don't know what the heck it is. And so right when I got in town, I heard it rattle. Then I heard a boom, and I didn't have any brakes at all, like zero. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I ran equipment all my life, so I'm in town there, and I just start gearing down my manual shifter on my automatic. And I ease the emergency brake, and I jump a curb and pull in the parking lot, and I get out, and I look under my fender well, and there's brake fluid all under my fender well. I was like, well, something ain't right. A fella pulled up. I mean, I ain't even got out of the truck good. He pulled up. He said, you got a mess there? And I said, yeah. I said, I don't know what I got going on. And he was asking me about fish finders and all this stuff, and I pulled the tire off, and needless to say, my bolts that hold my brake caliper were stripped, and my caliper rolled up my rotor and broke my brake line. That's why I didn't have brakes. So make a long story short, he drove me to the auto parts store, we got it rigged up where I could make it through the weekend. He wouldn't let me pay him. I tried to pay him, go to the ATM, and he said he just wanted some fish. And hey, I know I can make that happen. And we caught a bunch Sunday, and I'll drop some fish off. And hey, I got a friend for life, and anything he needs, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, that just don't happen too much. And I just
No, and in Greensboro, I don't have a lot of auto parts store. And there was a guy in an auto parts store there. I don't know the name of it. His name was Ted. I know that. And we kind of rigged it up and got me going. And I wasn't stuck there all weekend. So thanks to him, I got to go catch some fish.
Yeah, and we're going to finna talk about that before we do. Ken Clayton called me this morning because of the weather forecast tomorrow. He has postponed the Thursday afternoon fruit jar tournament till May the 4th. So that will be postponed till next Thursday at Bridgeport City Landing. All right, I guess that's everything. The Millers Ferry Powerhouse on the 27th, which will be tomorrow. They will be running 3 units from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. And at Jones Bluff, they're going to run 2 units from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., then 4 units from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. The river temperature is 67 degrees, and you can get up in the sloughs and find some water probably as high as the mid-70s when the sun's out. But that water's still mighty cool, ain't it, Shane?
Yeah, we've had these cool mornings, and like Kevin was saying earlier before the show kicked off, and you got some rain coming. So, hey, and it's kind of clear, and, that staying water warms up fast. So it's staying cool, but, hey, the fish are biting.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, let's talk about the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report. Let's start off with the catfish. And this picture right here, my old buddy Mal and Marcel went last week below the dam in the Alabama River, and they were jugging, and he said they was in 15 feet of water, and he said he had 2 types of jugs. He said one of them was red and one of them was black. And he said the red jugs he said red is dead, and he uses cut bait for the red jugs, and the white ones he puts live bait on it. And he said he caught all these catfish, and this is what all they caught. He caught all those catfish with cut fresh shad below the dam in 15 foot of water on jugs. So that's my catfishing report. I ain't got a picture, but old JoJo and he had him a big old catfish fishing down there with
Rick.
Rick. Yeah, him and Rick. They had some good ones. Rick caught some bass in a pond too. Brian Taylor caught some the other day. We just saw that picture of him cooking those catfish bellies in that lemon pepper. Michael Hilliard, he caught a bunch of them in the Alabama River. So the catfish are biting, Joe Allen. What's going on? Is the deep water? Sounds like the deep long line jugs in play now.
Everything's in play right now. Everything is on fire with Millers Ferry. I had people in the store today buying everything, all the worms, all the down below at the powerhouse. They catching. One guy said he caught 400 pounds last night down there below the dam. They said one guy was catching so many fish that he was actually looking for people to want to give him fish. So they catching large numbers of big catfish below the dam, above the dam, everywhere right now. It's unreal. Like I said, it's at that time of year that everything is done hit. You can catch fish at Millers Ferry.
It really don't matter. I talked to Travis, went down there yesterday and tried to catch some skipjack. He said he didn't catch no skipjack, but he said they were snagging them 40 and 50 pound catfish back there up against the wall.
Right. They catch some big yellows that come in there this time of year. But like I said, they're running the banks like with Cameron the other weekend, catching them yellows right off the bank with live brim. So it's on at Millers Ferry. I don't care what you say. It's
No
on.
matter what kind of catfishing you want to do, tight lining, limb lining, jugging, whatever you want to do, whatever bait you got, it's on right now.
It's on.
But the water is unseasonably cool right now. We're supposed to be 75, 77, get up in the nearby 80 by 3 o'clock every day, and then go back down in the 70s. You know, it's unseasonably cool, and we've had a weird spring, and it's been it's a weird pre-summer, I guess. You know, but it's really unseasonably cool. The water is.
Well, it shows some fish biting. It sure is. So if you come in this weekend, Joe Allen, what would your best advice be for catfishing? Anything?
Like I would get you some big gizzard shad and fish any style you want to. But I get me some fresh gizzard shad right now.
How easy is it to get bait?
Below the dam, you go down there with a cast net and get you a 5-gallon bucket full in a heartbeat.
Yeah, there's a lot of bait down there.
What about above the dam?
Go to places like if you're not out, I'd go to Ellis's at the cupboard. That's one place we made one throw there last weekend and got all the bait air needed for the whole weekend. There are different places like that. At Marina Slough at the bridge, you can do it. Other than that, you have to get out the river and get in some of those places and look for them, and you get all the shad you want right now. But the best place is below the dam.
Below the dam, and that leads us right into our crappie fishing. Of course, in the lake, Gerald is back in play. He had a good week. Mike Letkins had a good week, and that they did it up in the lake. Me and Joe Allen, and before we get started with our weekend, the last week on this show, Joe Allen was kind of down in the dumps, and if y'all remember, I should have took a screenshot at it on his intro. Update didn't have dialed in done. He had team can't catch a fish. You remember that last week? Well,
that's over with now. You can forget that and you can throw that away.
Hey, things changed. Friday, me and you, and it's no secret, we slipped down below the dam, Joe Allen, and we had a good day. We caught 18 slabs. Now, we thought we knew what we was doing Friday. Here comes Shane in here Friday night. And Shane, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell your story about Saturday, because you went down there Saturday and got disappointed. But then Sunday, boy, oh boy, go ahead and
they paid. I think what happened Saturday, it was slow to begin with that morning. I talked to a lot of people fishing. I didn't see a lot of fish moving, and I went below the dam. And then I went above the dam, and man, I had 3 guys with me. They happened to be my friends, and it was just a slow day. Didn't see a lot of fish, and you could just tell it was just one of those. I sent them home by 11 o'clock, and I said, hey, we'll just schedule another day, guys. Just y'all go on home, and they did, and everything was good. And I went out that evening, done some scouting. I ended up picking up 22 that evening, but they kind of got a little better than. Like we said when we were eating, Sunday's going to be a whole different day. I think it's a different pressure day, and Sunday it was a good day.
Well, me and you and I just could not believe Joe Allen got up that early Sunday morning.
He called me at something to 6. He said, "Hey, where you at?" I said, "Hey, I'm up."
Yeah.
I'm fired up. I'm ready to go, man.
Y'all went in your boat. Me and Kevin went in my boat. But now I want you to tell the folks about what you figured out on those fish below the dam. Shane.
Well, I don't mind. I don't have a lot of secrets, but Joe Allen caught the first fish off to the side. We didn't see it on live scope, and he set the hook. And I said, man, that fish must have been on bottom. So I started training him. And when you got a live scope, it's just like hunting in a cutover. You got to look for little stuff. It's not a big, don't expect to see 30, 40 fish sitting in a big school. You got to look. And so, there's some of them right there. I started looking on the bottom, and I think those fish below a dam, they live on the bottom because of current and floodgates and everything. And they pop their head up and eat bait. So I started looking for them and I started spotting them, and me and Joe Allen started catching them. So we kind of, once I learned what to look for, you could just barely see their head come up and go back down, and there was carp in there with them and everything else. But they hug that bottom, and that's why a lot of your bottom bouncers and minnows and, guys like that. But I took that jig and we had to walk it through that timber. You had to be patient, but you would pick up 3 or 4, whack, whack, whack. If you watch my new YouTube video, the first 5 minutes, me and Joe popped 5. I mean, big ones right off the bat. So, but I did learn that. I haven't caught many fish off the bottom, and that was one of the first trips I recall doing it.
And I'll tell you what, that thinking about the way we've been fishing down there below that dam for so many years, Joe Allen, where we were drop shotting a live minnow, right on. That's where we caught them, right on the bottom.
I realize those fish are sitting down in that bottom, and when your jig comes by, all they're doing is popping up and going right back down. They're going right back down in that cover because they're used to current coming over them. They're not fighting that current. And it wasn't much current, but that's the way they're training themselves to feed. Shad come by, they pop up, go right back down. You're not going to see the numbers of fish, but, man, there's some hammers down there. And it got, it gives me confidence to look for some up above the dam, on the bottom. They get down there and get hugged to the bottom. I'm going to start looking for them because, like I said, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, looking with a live scope, and I learned something that day. I was like, well, it's just another method you can use to catch them.
So if I'm hearing you right, dialed in, done, taught Shane Jones something Sunday.
Well, he caught that fish, and when he caught that fish, I knew his bait was towards the bottom. So I said, hold on, Joel. He said, that fish come off the bottom. I said, all right. And then that's when I looked down at that unit. He'll tell you. And I started dialing in. I was pointing at him. I said, there they are, Joe. And he said, and Joe was throwing, he was popping, and we were catching. I was netting, and then we knew what to look for.
But another thing is what we did below the dam here at Millers Ferry on the Alabama. People should go on upriver behind every lock and dam, and you can do the same thing. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, that's what we were discussing. Those crappie are going. That's where their water they live in. They're not big creeks or nothing for them to live in. And those big crappie are going to get behind that cover and come up and eat and go right back. Spotted bass do the same thing. I caught a couple catfish, nothing big while we were there, but it kind of taught me a little bit. And I was like, well, it gives you confidence. You go on a place that has a dam, you can go up there and find some big crappie.
And
I think you can go to Jones Bluff and on up. Every one of them do the same thing. Of
course, hey, we went that evening above the dam, and, hey, Joe Allen loaded up. He let me get a bite to eat, and he loaded right back up with me, and we went right back at him. And, hey, we caught all we wanted that evening, too. Don't get it wrong.
And you see, that's what you're going to tell people and explain people and show people Saturday at CT Ward Power Sports, Shane. That's what you're going to explain to them.
That's right. Well, the Scott Mitchells, the John Fulmers, the Travis Hudsons, the Geralds, their units are tuned in, guys. You don't realize it's just like having a welder that runs great or a machine that runs great and you maintain it. You're going to see a lot of stuff when it's tuned in right that you won't see.
Yeah.
If you can't see the stuff that we are seeing, that you're defeating having that machine. If you got that machine, you need to maximize it. Big Daddy, you've seen what you see. So.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's talk now. Let's talk about above the dam, because y'all did just as good above the dam.
We did.
What techniques were you using above the dam?
Me and Joe knew that fish were on secondary cover. When I say secondary cover, I'm talking about off the bank. These people daubing the banks. I see them pulling a couple little ones. Those fish are staged up on cover at 8, 9, 10 foot of water. And Joe knew where some stuff was, and I had found some stuff, so we just teamed up and went in there, and we found a ton of fish. I mean, there's no shortage of crappie at Millers Ferry because we were picking them off, and hey, we caught, I don't know, 30, 25. I don't know how many we caught. We went on back, but secondary cover, secondary points off the channels, on these flats, that's just where they are. Get off the bank. Those fish are getting ready for their summer pattern, and they're feeding, and they're starting to think with their rear end instead of their head trying to mate. They're trying to fatten up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Michael Hilliard said he wants to pick up some crappie weeds.
Yeah, hey, we're going to swap some trips out. I told him I hadn't ever caught one of them big catfish, and I'd like to reel one in.
Yeah. Well, if you can ever get a Travis to take you, he could catch one, but it's hard to keep him.
It's hard to hem him up, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. All right, Scott Mitchell caught him down there in Alabama River. Where was he fishing down there?
Down where the Alabama runs into Tom Bigby, right there somewhere. I don't know exactly, but he told me he found some fish in some open water and some timber. He can break down some water pretty fast himself. So he got on him and told me he had all the fish he wanted. The ones that were kind of suspended out, he was catching them. He caught a bunch of nice white fish, but that's the same kind of pattern, just off the bank.
You talking about breaking down water, Shane. Now, I remember when you had Air Night on Crappie Cast, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. Live scope is just like having a spotlight looking at deer. It keeps you from fishing dead water and also lets you move pretty fast. Me and Joe Allen looked at I don't know how many tops, probably 50, 60, and there was some that had 2 or 3 fish in it, and then there was some that was loaded, and that's where we concentrated. We pulled 5, 6 fish off of it, and we moved on. You gotta look for and cover some water. That's the thing about it, and look for a pattern. You got to establish a pattern. That's what I'm saying when you're breaking down water.
Yeah, and that's something that I have learned to do too since I've got my live scope. But anyway,
that's right.
That covers it pretty good. Me and you didn't do as good as they did, Kevin, but we had enough for you and Mr. Deese to eat the other night. We had a good mess of fish.
We had 7 big ones. We didn't have 7, but we had 7 big ones.
Yeah,
there was a lot of big ones down there. It was one of them things. I'd have to physically show you, Big Daddy, what them fish are doing. Then you would see it. That's the thing about it. It was just a little flicker. And then when that fish committed to coming up at your jig off the bottom, that's when you seen it.
Yeah. Your partner said they had a good day today on Lake.
Yeah, I talked to him. I didn't know where he was. He was running up and down the river. I told him I'd talk to him later on. He's been mashing on them pretty good all week, I know.
All right, that's for the crappie. The crappie are just kind of like the catfish, Joe Allen. They wide open. You just got to get up there and find
like I said, I'm telling these guys,
right.
Hey, get off the banks. Like I said, these people daubing the banks, got to get off the bank.
All right, if you have not got a live scope, Shane, what do you tell people to do?
I'm looking for, if the river's not pulling hard, I'm looking for some treetop that's got a few fish in it. You got to remember, guys, if you don't have a live scope, when you pick up 3 or 4 fish and then it's dead for 15, 20 minutes, move on and come back. Like those, it's the same way with live scope. You're gonna catch a few hot fish, keep moving, hit some stuff that looks just like what you just fished. A brush top, some timber. Those fish are 8 or 10 foot deep. You catch one, catch you another one too. And if it's dead for 20, 30 minutes, don't waste a day there. Move on. Live scope or not.
And I do want to mention May the 27th, the Roland Cooper State Park, Big Crappie Day going to be coming. We got the tickets, and I don't know when they're going to put them out, but everything's go. We got everything sold. We got it'll be May the 27th, and we're going to hope we have a good crowd there. All right, let's talk about.
I ain't going to run my mouth this time, Big Daddy. I'm going to keep it shut.
Well, I don't know, Joe Allen. You know the last tournament you fished in.
All right. River looking good. All right. River looking good for tomorrow.
It won't play the whole thing.
Won't play it. But anyway, all right, let's go to bass fishing because we pushing time. Major League Fishing was in Demopolis last Saturday. They had a heck of a tournament. Adam Cochran won it. He had 16.4 pounds. Extreme Bass Challenge was at Bridgeport City Landing. This week, the Schroeder boys won it with 18.04. And I'm gonna tell you something too. Alden caught some fish. Him and Jesse caught some last week. Do you know what he's doing, Joe Allen?
I do not. All he did was send me that picture, and he said he had a good day. That's all he said.
All right, and I tell you something else, Kevin. I want to mention to everybody that uses braid line, and Shane turned me on to it. It is a pair of clippers called Pitbull Braid Clippers, and diamondbait.net sells them on their website. I just bought 2 pair from him. So if you want a pair of them, go to Diamond Bait's website, buy them from Jamie Everett, because they are, I promise you,
Yeah,
you
they're unreal.
can't believe them.
Yeah, John Fulmer turned me on to him. I went on a trip with him, and I cut the line. I said, "What are these things?" He said,
Yeah.
"They're pit bulls." I said, "Well, I'll have me some."
Yeah.
Hey, them are top notch.
All right, Kevin, bass fishing this weekend. Maddie's got her final tournament of her spring trail. She'll be giving somebody a $1,000 Angler of the Year prize today. I'm gonna try to get on the show Friday morning and see where. I don't know who's leading or what, but I think it's a pretty close race. Are you gonna fish in it Saturday?
No, I'll be out of town.
Oh,
I
you
got
rode
rodeo
it.
this weekend.
Yeah. But well, I love it when you ain't fishing tournament where you can tell them how would you fish it if you was fishing it Saturday?
With the water, like I said, depending on this rain, but like I said, the temperature like that, I'm going in a fluke somewhere, to start, and then if the fish ain't there, the bait ain't in there, then I'll move back out in the river. But I'm gonna start shallow, get the dirt and work my way out. But spinner bait, swim jig, everything's still in play with the water below 70 degrees. I mean, it ain't changed yet. If this behind that front, depending on what Friday does, you may have to go to punching and flipping a little more, slow down a little bit, but you'll be able to. That everything's in play in shallow water still, but you got to stay out of like. You can't go to Gold Mine. You can't go in, in Mill Creek. I mean, they're all beat to death. You got to find some fresh water that ain't beat to death right now.
But it is the bass on as hot as a catfish and a crappie right now. 18 pounds, wasn't it? Stream bass.
Oh yeah. The weights have been still good. We've had 2 shad spawns. They were small and localized. I had to look at the calendar and make it. You may have another small, but like the first one in May will be the big one. Whenever the shad spawn hits the 1st of May, that's gonna be the big one.
It'll be next weekend.
You'll be you better really need to be in the water and be throwing something. You better trout some. It'll be everywhere.
Yeah, I know they weighed in. Let me look at these. They weighed in 3 fish last night for 13 pounds up here at the house.
Really?
Three fish tournament.
One of them night fishing.
No, they had an evening. They had a three fish tournament on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Blake Smitherman and them won it, and Chip Bradley. They had 3 weighed 1362. 3 fish.
Hey, it's finna be right. It's finna be right. Bass fishing on Millers Ferry. Maddie's tournament this weekend. What you think? 18, 20 pounds gonna win it, Kevin?
Yeah, depending on the rain, but somebody have gonna be in that 15 to 18 pound range for sure. Depending on the rain, just how deep the heavy weights go will be depending on the weather and the conditions. But it don't matter how bad it gets. There's gonna be somebody trying to figure it out and be a good
That's
set.
right. Somebody's gonna.
If it's a good day, then it'll be all the way to 6th, 7th place. Will be up there 16, 17 pounds.
And I do want to remind everybody coming here, and I got some emails and texts the other day from some of these new anglers coming in here for the first time this spring. That road going to Bridgeport Park is a mess. If you see a sign that says slow and bump, you better slow down, because that is a hell of a bump there. And if you don't slow down, you're going to knock everything out of your boat. It is terrible. The road is terrible. So be careful. Heads up if you're going to put in at Bridgeport or going to Roland Cooper State Park. All right, let's talk about pond fishing. Wayne Edgeworth tearing up some pond fish up there in Clanton. Rick Pipkins went down to his little old pond to catch him some brim to put on him jugs, and he caught some nice bass the other day. I got a wonderful picture from little Carter Ann Andrews in Monroeville catching her bass on the pond, and then Owen Rouse went bass fishing after he killed him a turkey the other morning in Dallas County. Pond fishing is just right now is the time to go pond fishing. Joe Allen, crickets and worms are probably selling off the shelf at Dunn's Sport.
What about the full moon's coming here in the brim?
Yeah.
Don't forget about
That's
that.
right.
I mean, you don't need to forget about that brim bed you found.
I ain't forgot. I promise. It's time to check it come next weekend or so.
Yeah. But
Well,
anyway,
you know, if you in the bait shop business when fish are biting, because if they come in and just want 1 cup of worms and maybe 50 crickets and a dozen minnows, you know, they're just going out there to sit around. When they buying them by the hundreds of minnows, they need 5, 6, or 7 cups of worms. They need 300 crickets.
Yeah, they're getting ready.
Fish.
yeah, that tells you something, don't it, Joel?
Yeah,
They
they catching fish.
I got you a little cricket trivia right here.
All right.
Edwin Evers, he's fishing down at West Monroe in the Major League Tournament this week. He said he had went to see his buddy, and he owns a cricket farm in West Monroe. They supply most of the people in the southern part of the country. And he said that one of their biggest buyers is the protein bar industry. They grind them crickets up because they're such high protein, they put it in the protein bars.
I got some over there, probably got some crickets in.
They said most all protein bars have ground up crickets in them.
I believe it.
Well, that's good protein, I guess.
That's right.
All right, let's talk a minute about turkey. We just heard Garrett Gaston and David Hawley talk about the late season turkey report. Did y'all see that post that Jason Threadgill put up the other day about him chasing that turkey for 3 or 4 weeks, and then that coyote got him the other day? That was amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So the turkeys are wide open. What you hearing, Joe Allen? I'm hearing they still gobbling, still doing good.
Yeah, they are doing good. Some of them were still henned up last week. So, you know, it depends on your land, your place, your situation. They may be henned up, but they may just starting to lose the hens, maybe done lost the hen. But it's still going on. And I think Alabama did a good thing by moving the season to what they did. It's going to be better. But people don't need to be quick to criticize because they're thinking they gobbled out, because that's not the case.
That is not the case. It sure ain't. All right, rodeo. I don't know who took this picture right here, but that's my man Brody, and that's a good picture, Kevin.
Yeah, that was a professional photographer in the arena, and that was in Jemison, Alabama this past weekend. He's a little out of shape right there, but that's a good picture. I got some copies made. I'm gonna blow one up.
Well, what about give us a rodeo report.
Well, we got the last college rodeo this weekend in Senatoba, Mississippi. I think it's Northeast something community college, Mississippi Community College. I think that's a big long name, but it's just a little south of Memphis, right on the Mississippi line. I'm gonna go just like I go when I go duck hunting. I'll go to Philadelphia, Kosciuszko, Grenada, and straight up, right straight toward Memphis. And I'll run into Senatoba right there. He'll ride Friday night, Saturday night, and then he'll be through. He'll actually come back home, take finals, and then he'll be through for this semester. It's kind of hard to believe, bro. He finished his freshman year of college. You know.
Yeah, it is. That sure is.
He moved into a house. They had to be out by Monday, and he was going to be gone all weekend. So they went on, moved out of the dorm, and they got him a house they renting and all. And he come Saturday. We loaded some stuff up out of my shed and got him fixed up with some bigger beds and furniture and stuff like that.
Well, it seems like yesterday we were sitting in Gas and Grill recording them radio spots.
Yeah, with a hair in his eyes.
Yeah. All right, Shane, Crappie Cast tomorrow night. What can we expect every Thursday night at 7 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook? Shane Jones Fishing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to Mr. Keith Cole about the Alabama Crappie Trail, and John and I we'll talk about Millers Ferry a little bit in detail. And then John will probably go over what he done. He's fished a few days. I think he said he fished Mitchell today. So we'll try to help everybody out and answer some questions. And, hey, that's what the show's for. Try to get everybody catching fish. So.
And you will be in Camden, CT Ward Power Sports from 10 to 2 Saturday. And if they're in line, you'll stay later than that.
I don't. Hey, this is what I live and breathe, buddy. So hey, I'm ready. So.
All right, Joe Allen, you've been weed eating and mowing all week. Have you been in the store at all? Just tell us what y'all got in there you need to get rid of.
Oh well, we got plenty of old time camo that for the turkey hunters that Bubba's putting on 30% off. We got a lot of that. We got a whole bunch of B&B, some good looking jigs come in. We got them out. So it's just whatever you want for sprinkler, all the live bait. Because we going through live bait like who'd have thought. We selling live bait right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you got plenty of it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this weekend you going rodeoing, Kevin. Me and Joe Allen and Shane will be at CT Ward Power Sport. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a good time. I can tell you that. We're gonna have a good time. Anything else? I think we covered about everything. Joe Allen's back in the saddle. He's back in the saddle.
Well, dialed in, done.
Well,
Dialed in,
I'll be
done.
signing autographs. I'm gonna have some blowed up 8 to 10 pictures of me with holding a fish up, and gonna be signing them for whoever wants one.
Are you gonna sign them, Joe Allen?
It'll be a long line. It'll be Bud. Bud be the only one there.
So I don't need to make, but probably
Don't
two.
have to get too many.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all stand by. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same channel on the Getting Outdoors podcast. Town Country, United Bank, Hunting and Fishing Report. See y'all next week.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.